hell on earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence. How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside.
From his $48 million Miami mansion to hell on earth where chaos reigns. Just some of the words used to describe the Metropolitan Detention Center where Sean Diddy Combs.
In a shocking turn of events, reports reveal that Sean Diddy Combs is facing grave danger behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center. Described as a hellish environment, the facility is rife with violence and overcrowding, and now insiders claim Diddy has been targeted. As details emerge about his notorious past, allegations of hidden recordings, and deep ties to controversial figures, the stakes have never been higher. With threats looming from longtime enemies like Suge Knight, the question remains, can Diddy navigate this treacherous landscape? Or will the forces determined to silence him succeed? Here are the full details. But first, it is important to explore Diddy's new home, the MDC, a facility described as disgusting with horrifying conditions, and a far cry from the Miami and Los Angeles mansions he once lived in. Sean Diddy Combs, now 54, finds himself at the notorious Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, after pleading not guilty to charges related to and abuse, accusations that span over a decade. His defense team unsuccessfully fought to keep him out of the federal lockup, citing the dire conditions of the facility, an infamous place that has been described as hell on earth due to its rampant violence, deaths, and generally horrific living standards. The MDC has housed several high-profile inmates over the years, including R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Sam Bankman-Fried. The facility's reputation has led some judges to refuse to send inmates there, although in this case, the judge ruled that no house arrest or bail conditions could guarantee the safety of witnesses or prevent obstruction in Combs's trial. Combs remains in federal custody, awaiting trial on racketeering conspiracy and charges, while his lawyers contend with the challenges of defending their client under such harsh detention conditions. With a trial date yet to be set for the 54-year-old hip-hop artist, it's unknown how long Combs will be held in the Brooklyn prison, but after Wednesday's bail denial hearing, his lawyers said they would be appealing the decision. The Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC Brooklyn, opened by the Bureau of Prisons in the early 1990s, is notorious for its harsh conditions and violence. Initially established as a federal jail for those awaiting trial or serving short sentences, the facility currently holds around 1,200 detainees, down from over 1,600 earlier in the year. Located on the Brooklyn waterfront, the jail has outdoor recreation spaces, medical and dental units, and a wing dedicated to educational programs and a library. However, detainees frequently report severe issues, including violence, insufficient staffing, and contraband smuggling, some involving employees. Lockdowns are common, with detainees often restricted from visits, calls, showers, or exercise. The facility has seen multiple deaths recently, including a fatal stabbing and a death from a brawl, reflecting the ongoing crisis within its walls. In June, an inmate awaiting trial on gun charges was fatally stabbed at MDC Brooklyn, highlighting the ongoing violence within the facility. Just a month later, Edwin Cordero died during a fight inside the prison. Cordero's lawyer called the facility hell on earth, describing it as overcrowded, understaffed, and neglected. MDC Brooklyn faced further scrutiny after a severe power outage in January 2019 left the prison without light or heat for a week, exposing inmates to freezing temperatures during a cold, northeast winter. Inmates were reportedly confined to their cells for days without functioning toilets, raising concerns about the jail's ability to manage crises. The Justice Department launched an investigation to determine if the Bureau of Prisons had contingency plans in place for such emergencies. A lawsuit filed on behalf of the inmates revealed further details about the unsanitary and unsafe conditions they endured during the outage. The Bureau of Prisons settled a lawsuit last summer, paying approximately $10 million to 1,600 inmates at MDC Brooklyn for the freezing and inhumane conditions they endured during the 2019 power outage. The facility's issues extend beyond this incident. Over the last 5 years, at least 6 staff members have been charged with crimes, including accepting bribes and smuggling contraband like drugs, cigarettes, and cell phones. MDC Brooklyn has faced additional criticism for its handling of infrastructure failures and the COVID-19 pandemic. The 2019 power failure left inmates shivering and sparked unrest, drawing concern from federal watchdogs. In March 2020, the first federal inmate to test positive for COVID-19 was housed at MDC. By last November, court filings revealed that the jail was operating at just 55% staffing, further straining employees and exacerbating security problems. Judges and advocates have increasingly condemned the Bureau of Prisons for the dangerous, barbaric conditions at MDC Brooklyn, urging the agency to improve. Some judges have even begun to reduce sentences or avoid sending defendants to the facility altogether due to its notorious reputation. In January, U.S. District Judge Foreman allowed Gustavo Chavez, convicted of drug crimes, to remain free on bail rather than be sent to MDC Brooklyn before sentencing, calling the jail's conditions unacceptable. Furman noted that even prosecutors no longer disputed the facility's failings. Similarly, in August, U.S. District Judge Gary Brown said he would vacate a tax fraud sentence if the defendant was to be sent to MDC, offering home confinement as an alternative. In response to ongoing concerns about the conditions at MDC Brooklyn, the Bureau of Prisons stated that it had temporarily paused sending convicted individuals to the facility to serve their sentences. As of Tuesday, 43 people were serving their sentences in a minimum security unit at the jail. A spokesperson for the Bureau emphasized their commitment to protecting inmates and noted that safety protocols are regularly reviewed, with corrective actions implemented when necessary. Earlier this year, the Bureau formed an urgent action team to address the numerous challenges facing MDC Brooklyn. Despite these efforts, Combs's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, argued in court that the facility's harsh environment would make it difficult for his client to adequately prepare for trial. Constructed in the 1990s to alleviate overcrowding in New York City prisons, the Metropolitan Detention Center (MDC) primarily holds inmates awaiting trial in Brooklyn and Manhattan federal courts. Michael Cohen, a former inmate at MDC, recently shed light on the harsh conditions Sean "Diddy" Combs is facing there. He described the living quarters as cramped and uncomfortable, with Combs waking up on a steel bed with a thin mattress and no pillow in a small 8 by 10-foot cell. Cohen, who was incarcerated at the prison in 2020, explained that inmates in the special housing unit, where Combs is currently held, only have a 3 by 5-foot space to move around. He added that in the early days, prisoners often didn't have access to books or other comforts, making the initial experience particularly grueling for Diddy. The closure of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, MCC, in Manhattan in 2021 followed a series of troubling revelations, including those brought to light after Jeffrey Epstein unalived himself in 2019. The facility had been notorious for poor security, severe staffing shortages, and unsafe, deteriorating conditions like falling concrete and freezing temperatures. Following the closure, detainees were transferred to MDC Brooklyn, or Otisville Prison. Sean Diddy Combs' legal team has argued against his pretrial detention at MDC Brooklyn, citing its hazardous conditions and recent detainee deaths. Judges and advocates have raised similar concerns, with some even refusing to send defendants there due to the prison's ongoing issues. In response to questions about Combs' safety, especially considering Epstein's death, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams acknowledged the concerns, stating that safety is a priority for all detainees awaiting trial. Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, expressed concerns over his client's confinement in MDC Brooklyn's Special Housing Unit, SHU, which, while offering increased security, complicates trial preparation due to its restrictive nature. He requested a transfer to a New Jersey jail, but the judge deferred that decision to the Bureau of Prisons. An ongoing investigation by the Associated Press, AP, has exposed widespread issues within the Bureau of Prisons, highlighting flaws such as inmate escapes, chronic violence, deaths, and severe staffing shortages that hinder the response to emergencies. These problems have been evident in incidents of inmate assaults and the inability to reform troubled facilities. For example, in April, the Bureau of Prisons closed a notorious women's prison in Dublin, California, dubbed the Rape Club, following revelations of staff sexual abuse. The investigation has prompted legislative changes, with President Joe Biden signing a law in July to strengthen oversight of the Bureau of Prisons. The reports surrounding Sean Diddy Combs continue to escalate, painting a troubling picture of his current circumstances. Insiders suggest that while imprisoned, Diddy has reportedly faced threats from an undisclosed inmate, leading to fears for his safety. Described by NBC as hell, the conditions Diddy is enduring go beyond typical celebrity drama. His arrest revealed a web of alleged criminal activity that threatens to unravel secrets entrenched within the highest echelons of the entertainment world. This backdrop raises questions. Who wants Diddy silenced? Well, it is believed that the implications of his potential testimony could expose vulnerabilities that many would prefer to keep hidden. Prison insiders have painted a stark picture of Sean Diddy Combs' current situation at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, describing it as an extremely dangerous and grim environment plagued by overcrowding, violence, and appalling living conditions. This is a far cry from the opulence he once enjoyed. Given Diddy's high-profile status, his time in such a notorious facility was always going to come with risks. This is due to the fact that he shares the space with other infamous inmates, like drug kingpin Ghislaine Maxwell, which only intensifies the precariousness of his situation. There are several reasons believed to have led to threats on his life. First, individuals convicted of sexual offenses, especially those involving underage victims or women, often endure significant stigma and hostility from fellow inmates. This treatment can be harsh and, at times, violent, as the prison culture typically regards sex offenders with deep disdain. Sex offenders are frequently placed at the bottom of the prison hierarchy. Inmates convicted of sexual abuse are often targeted for harassment, violence, and abuse from others. This targeting stems partly from the nature of their offenses, which many inmates and society at large view as particularly heinous. As a result, sex offenders may find themselves ostracized or physically attacked, prompting some to seek protective custody to avoid potential harm. In high-security facilities, the risks escalate further. Sex offenders often face brutal treatment from other inmates who may perceive them as unmanly or cowardly for their inability to defend themselves against accusations of sexual violence. This perception can lead to physical assaults and emotional abuse, complicating an already precarious situation. For many, the consequences of their offenses extend far beyond legal repercussions, profoundly affecting their safety and well-being within the prison system. That's not all. With rumors swirling about his link with the criminal underworld, Diddy finds himself in a nightmare scenario. Someone with deep ties to organized crime may have clearly sent him a message to stay silent. The reasoning behind this intimidation is straightforward. Diddy has been a significant player in the industry for decades, accumulating dirt on some of the most powerful and influential figures in music and beyond. These aren't just minor players, they're individuals with compelling motives to ensure their secrets remain buried. As the drama unfolds, the stakes continue to rise for Diddy. If Diddy starts talking, the repercussions could be catastrophic. The gravity of the charges against him is significant, encompassing allegations of trafficking and racketeering. His arrest wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. It followed months, if not years, of investigation by federal authorities who appear to have built a robust case against him. Evidence in this case reportedly stems from 2 raids conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. The indictment details items seized during these searches, including videos he allegedly created of sexual performances he referred to as freak-offs. Notably, Diddy's arrest wasn't a low-key affair. Reports indicate that he was cooperative and even anticipated the charges, having moved to New York before his arrest. This suggests he may have had some foreknowledge of the impending legal troubles, perhaps believing he could navigate the situation. However, the circumstances have clearly spiraled beyond his control, raising questions about the potential fallout should he decide to reveal what he knows. The stakes are high, not just for Diddy, but for many others connected to him in the industry. The notion that someone could reach Diddy within the prison starts to seem plausible. It's not just the poor conditions at play. The prison's reputation for allowing things to occur behind closed doors, coupled with severe understaffing, operating at roughly half of its required personnel, creates a precarious environment. U.S. District Judge Robin Tarnowski emphasized these risks when she denied Diddy's bail, citing his violent past, connections, and substantial wealth as reasons he posed a significant flight risk and danger to the community. The judge's decision reflects concerns that Diddy might attempt to obstruct justice or intimidate witnesses. For high-profile inmates like him, the stakes are elevated, particularly with a history of enemies and former associates. Given these latest developments, Diddy's situation appears increasingly perilous. The concerns surrounding Diddy's situation appear to have been well-founded. Regardless of whether he intended to cooperate with authorities, his extensive knowledge of powerful figures in the industry and their potential illegal activities could lead to a significant unraveling of secrets. Diddy's arrest followed a protracted federal investigation that involved issuing hundreds of subpoenas, executing numerous search warrants, and amassing a staggering amount of digital evidence. Federal prosecutors have disclosed that they are managing dozens of terabytes of data, indicating that this case extends far beyond Diddy himself. It involves a broader web of individuals and operations. Prosecutors allege that Diddy's business empire functioned as a facade for criminal enterprises, characterized by a pattern of abuse, exploitation, and intimidation. A pivotal trigger for this investigation was the lawsuit filed by his former girlfriend, Cassie, in late 2023. Cassie's lawsuit detailed years of physical and emotional abuse. Although the case was settled privately, the allegations against Diddy only intensified following the settlement, suggesting a growing scrutiny of his actions and connections within the industry. As the investigation unfolds, the ramifications could extend far beyond Diddy, potentially implicating others in his circle. Even more unsettling are the swirling rumors of hidden cameras at Diddy's notorious parties, where high-profile figures in the entertainment world were allegedly caught on tape engaging in compromising activities. If these recordings exist, they could provide crucial insight into why so many powerful individuals might want Diddy silenced. The information buried within those tapes could elucidate the serious danger he now faces. Diddy has long been known for breaking rules and cultivating a culture of excess. His opulent lifestyle, characterized by lavish homes in Los Angeles and Miami and extravagant parties on Star Island, has become legendary. Throughout his career, he has faced persistent rumors of dubious financial dealings, violent outbursts, and covert relationships. Now, it appears that all of this may be coming back to haunt him. Diddy's federal indictment serves as a stark reminder of the gravity of these allegations. Prosecutors claim he exploited his power to create a network of individuals who were not merely willing participants in his actions, but were actively engaged in helping him maintain control over his empire. As the legal battles unfold, the implications of his past actions could expose a much darker side of the entertainment industry, drawing in others who have long operated in the shadows. As the potential for explosive revelations looms, Diddy now grapples with not only legal battles, but also life-threatening danger from those who fear what he might disclose. The events leading to his arrest unfolded over several months. Earlier this year, federal authorities conducted raids on his homes in Los Angeles and Miami, seizing electronics, incriminating documents, and firearms, including 3 R5 rifles with defaced serial numbers. This escalation adds yet another layer to the serious charges against him. Diddy isn't just another celebrity caught up in a scandal. He stands at the epicenter of an investigation that could rock the entire entertainment industry. The lingering question is, how far will people go to ensure he remains silent? As we continue to monitor this unfolding story, it's becoming increasingly evident that Diddy's situation is far more perilous than anyone initially anticipated. A prison threat against Diddy, while shocking, might just scratch the surface of a far more complex situation. His involvement in numerous controversial moments throughout entertainment history, coupled with his alleged knowledge of damaging secrets, has positioned him as a prime target. Diddy has been in the game for decades, mingling with some of the most influential and powerful figures in the industry. With that power, however, comes a fair share of enemies. Over the years, he has been linked to dubious characters, navigating a delicate balance between fame and infamy. This precarious position adds layers to the mystery surrounding the threat he faces. As more details emerge, the chilling reality of Diddy's situation raises alarms about who might be willing to go to such lengths to silence him. The stakes have never been higher, and the spotlight on him has never been more intense. Many believe that Diddy didn't solely rely on his business acumen or talent to rise to the top. He allegedly had a more insidious asset in his arsenal: information. Diddy's ascent in the music industry has long been shadowed by speculation about how he maintained his power. Whispers suggest he harbors secrets about those close to him, secrets that, if ever revealed, could destroy entire careers. For years, rumors have swirled that Diddy secretly recorded everything at his infamous parties. Over-the-top gatherings attended by celebrities, top executives, and even political figures. These events were known for their extravagance and unpredictability, creating an environment where anything could happen. Allegedly, hidden cameras placed throughout his properties captured every wild moment without the guests' knowledge. Now, just imagine the leverage Diddy could have amassed over the years. The potential fallout from those recordings could be catastrophic, not just for the individuals involved, but for their businesses, marriages, and families. If these secrets were to surface, it could turn the tables on many powerful figures, making Diddy a formidable player in a game where information is the ultimate currency. Rumor has it that Diddy used this footage as leverage to maintain his power, ensuring that as long as he had dirt on everyone, no one could turn against him. The theory suggests that Diddy's empire was built not just on music, but on manipulation and blackmail. Whether these rumors hold any truth is uncertain, but they've never truly faded away. Now, with Diddy behind bars, anxiety is mounting that all that incriminating evidence could fall into the hands of authorities. This prospect has many people on edge. If Diddy decides to cooperate and starts talking, the fallout could be monumental. We're talking about potentially high-profile names being dragged into the spotlight, careers ruined, and reputations shattered. For those who have shared a past with Diddy, the stakes couldn't be higher. It's easy to see why certain individuals might feel desperate to keep him quiet at all costs. This isn't merely about protecting their image. It's about survival in a cutthroat industry where one wrong move could spell disaster. The tension surrounding Diddy's case illustrates just how fragile the alliances are in the world of fame and fortune. Diddy has long been enveloped in controversy, often tied to some of the most notorious incidents in hip-hop history. His name has repeatedly surfaced in connection with violent altercations, leading many to speculate about his true involvement. One of the most enduring scandals is the unsolved murder of his close friend and collaborator, the notorious B.I.G. Many believe Diddy knows more about the circumstances surrounding Biggie's death than he has ever disclosed, with some even suggesting he played a role in the infamous East Coast versus West Coast feud that culminated in Biggie's tragic demise. While none of these allegations have been substantiated, Diddy's knack for remaining above the fray has left people questioning how deep his involvement might actually be. A particularly talked-about incident occurred in 1999 during a nightclub altercation that erupted into a gunfight, injuring several individuals. Diddy, who was present, managed to sidestep serious legal repercussions, which only bolstered his reputation as someone with dangerous connections. His ability to evade major consequences in such situations has fueled rumors that he has powerful allies protecting him, or perhaps that he is the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. If Diddy possesses information that could expose any of these figures, it's easy to see why there are powerful individuals eager to keep him quiet. The stakes are particularly high when considering the entertainment executives rumored to be close to Diddy. The downfall of a single prominent figure could trigger a domino effect, bringing numerous others crashing down alongside them. Diddy's situation is far from resolved. He faces not only legal battles, but also personal vendettas and potentially life-threatening threats from those determined to silence him. The pressing question now is whether he can survive long enough to share his side of the story, or if the forces working against him will succeed in ensuring he remains quiet. Throughout his career, Diddy has balanced power and vulnerability, leveraging his influence, connections, and a rumored trove of secrets to maintain his position at the top. Yet, for the first time, he seems to be losing control. Whether he can navigate his way out of this turmoil remains uncertain.